You've probably heard of Alex Hormozi, right? The guy who seems to have completely cracked the code on getting customers. But how does he actually do it? It's not magic. In this explainer, we're going to break down his core philosophy and then see how it plays out in a super tough industry, real estate.
So, first things first, why should you even care what this guy says? Well, how about this number? $200 million. That's what his portfolio of companies pulls in every single year. You don't just stumble into a number like that. It's built on a system, a very specific and seriously effective system for getting customers.
Okay, so what is the secret sauce? I mean, how does he create this massive flood of leads when so many people are just struggling to get a trickle? That's the big question we're diving into. And here's a hint. It doesn't start with some secret tactic. Nope, it starts with a completely different way of thinking.
See, before you can do what Hormozi does, you have to think like him. His whole deal isn't about finding that 1 in a million magic email that converts everyone. It's way bigger than that. It's about building an entire machine, a lead-generating engine that runs on a handful of core philosophies.
And these 5 philosophies, they all work together. They feed into each other. First, he's all about building self-reinforcing systems, things that grow on their own. He uses the rule of reciprocity. Give value to get value. He practices extreme ownership, no excuses, ever. He absolutely hates linear growth, so he automates everything he possibly can to get off that hamster wheel. And through it all, there's this obsession with quality, service, and getting great reviews.
But listen, you can have the slickest system in the world, the best mindset, but if your offer sucks, you've got absolutely nothing. And that brings us to the real heart of Hormozi's entire universe.
This right here, this is his famous value equation. It looks like math, but it's really just psychology. An offer becomes a no-brainer when you make the dream outcome huge and their belief they can get it super high. At the same time, you have to crush the time it takes and the effort they have to put in. Make those as close to zero as possible. Honestly, every other lead gen tactic he uses is just a vehicle to deliver this one irresistible offer.
Okay, so you've got the mindset, you've got the irresistible offer, but how do you actually get it in front of people? Hormozi boils it all down to 3 main pillars of outreach. You've got warm, you've got cold, and you've got content. Let's tackle them one by one, starting with the easiest one, the lowest hanging fruit. This is warm outreach, and it's so simple it's almost funny. You literally just call people you know, your friends, your family, old colleagues. You chat, see how they're doing, and then you hit them with the magic question. Hey, do you know anybody who… You see, you're not trying to sell to them, you're tapping into their network. Hormozi swears there's a gold mine sitting right in your phone's contact list, and this is the shovel.
All right, now for the one everybody dreads, cold outreach. Ugh, talking to complete strangers. Hormozi says everyone, and I mean everyone, gets stuck on the same 3 problems. Number 1, where the heck do I find these people? Number 2, okay, I found them, now what on earth do I say to them? And number 3, the real killer, how do I do this enough times to actually get a sale without wanting to pull my hair out?
And his answers to these problems, they're classic Hormozi, all about the system. For finding people, simple. You build a list, you buy a list, or you scrape a list. For what to say, you personalize it a bit, and then you hit them with what he calls big, fast value. Basically, give them something awesome for free right away. And to get enough at-bats, you don't work harder, you work smarter. You solve it with scale, pure volume, heavy automation, and always looking at the data.
So the third and final pillar is content. And it's funny, Hormozi admits he used to think content was a waste of time. But now, he calls it the lubricant that makes everything, the ads, the outreach, run smoothly. Think about it. When someone gets a cold email from you, what's the first thing they do? They Google you, and your content is what they find. It's there to build trust, answer their questions before they even ask, and basically warm them up before you ever have a conversation.
Okay, this all sounds awesome in a presentation, right? It's great theory, but what happens when you take this engine out of the lab and into the real world? Like a really tough, competitive world. Say, real estate investing. An industry where finding one good, motivated seller can feel like searching for a needle in a country-sized haystack.
And this is where you see the huge difference. The old way, the traditional real estate grind, is just that, a grind. We're talking endless cold calls, throwing thousands of dollars at direct mail, and just hoping something sticks. The Hormozi engine is the polar opposite. It's a finely tuned system that uses automation and massive volume to put valuable, targeted messages right in front of the people you actually want to talk to.
And that's not just theory. That brings us to a perfect real-world example. There's this service called GetSellers.io, And what they've done is they've basically taken these Hormozi principles and built a dedicated Hormozi engine just for real estate investors. Its whole purpose is to find motivated sellers for you completely on autopilot.
So let's connect the dots. How is this the Hormozi model in action? Well, GetSellers.io focuses on high-quality leads. They're using Google and Meta to find people who are already searching for a solution. They deliver these leads on autopilot. That's the automation to avoid that hamster wheel we talked about. And the whole service is a done-for-you engine, which is the definition of a self-reinforcing system.
So, does it work? What are the results when you go all in on a system like this? Well, according to their numbers, the return on investment is just massive. They claim a 5 times return compared to what you'd get from old-school direct mail. And that just proves it, right? It shows the power of using smart technology and targeting people who are already interested instead of just using brute force.
And this isn't just about numbers on a chart. This is what it means for a real person, a real investor. Check out this testimonial from Lori Thorson. She says they generated nearly 40 leads for her in less than 2 months. 40 leads! That's not just a few calls. That's a pipeline that can completely change your business. And it's a direct result of putting these automated, scalable ideas into practice.
So if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. The game has changed. Whether you're selling houses or software, modern lead generation is not about just doing more tasks. It's not about working harder. It's about thinking like an engineer and building a system, a machine that goes out and finds customers for you. So let me just leave you with this one question to chew on. Take a hard look at your own business. Right now, is your lead generation a daily grind? Are you stuck on that hamster wheel, fighting for every single lead by hand? Or are you building an engine that works for you 24/7, even while you sleep? Because honestly, the answer to that question could change absolutely everything.